What's up, everybody? Hope you are all doing well. I am really excited about today's video. If you have not heard, Chase After the Right Price and I recently have been doing a ton of local trades for these little guys right here. Nintendo Switch Lites. These are available on store shelves and at places like Amazon and GameStop. They're in stock very commonly, but they're in such high demand that many people are looking to trade other consoles and game collections that they haven't been using for a while for them. And we've essentially been trading up and making solid profits that way. And we've been doing it so much, we decided to make it into a challenge. So this week, between Monday and Friday, Chase and I are each going to take 3 Nintendo Switch Lites, list them on Facebook Marketplace, and see who, at the end of the week, has more total trade value. So this video is going to be all of my trades that I make, and at the end we'll get each other's reactions. His video is going to be all of his trades, but before you watch farther in either one, I want you to comment down below who you predict will end up coming out on top. But just a little warning for you, if you say Chase, I am likely to spiral into a state of self-loathing. So before I get into the actual trades, I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of my listing strategy that I hope will catapult me to victory on Friday. So I'll put the picture that I used right up here. The only thing that I want to note about this is I try to put a good amount of effort into the photo itself, especially when you're browsing on mobile. The photo of a listing is actually the only thing that you see on Facebook Marketplace. You don't actually get the little title tag. So I like to make sure that my picture really pops, that it's somewhat compelling. So what I did with this was I just stacked them up, staggered them a little bit to make them catch the eye a little bit more. I put them in the most well-lit part of my house and then went into my Photos app and just kind of messed with some of the settings like brightness and exposure and saturation and stuff like that, just to kind of try to make it pop a little bit. The title I used was pretty simple: trading new Nintendo Switch Lites for video games. And then here's what I had in the body of my post. My general strategy with this is to try to eliminate as many bad inquiries as I can and be as clear as possible. So this is some remaining inventory from an online store. I'm looking to trade for more inventory or stuff for my collection. So coming right out of the bat, sometimes people will ask like, what is this? Why do you have these? Blah, blah, blah. Clearing that up front, I found is pretty helpful. So that's what I lead with, looking mostly for systems with game collections. That line basically says, hey, don't try to trade me your 3DS for this thing. Don't try to trade me a Wii with no controllers. That line I found is helpful because I think it eliminates some poor offers, like people saying, hey, will you trade my 3DS or my Wii with no cords for it? Or I had one lady actually say, I will trade you 2 nice homemade cakes for a Switch Lite, which I was like, I mean, thank you, that's nice, but no. So yeah, looking to trade mostly for systems with game collections, lets people know a little bit of what I'm looking to get on my end. Switch Lites are brand new in package. Then it says, message me with pictures of stuff you'd want to trade and what you're wanting, and I'll let you know if I can swing it. Open to cash plus trade if you don't have much stuff on hand. Not looking to just sell at the moment. I have a lot of people, even with this, that message me saying, hey, how much for a Switch Lite? How much for this game? Or whatever, if it's a posting with games. And I am not looking to do that because I'm looking to get more than the retail value in trade. So I don't want people messaging me about that. Then one of the most important parts of the post, some games or systems I'm looking for most right now: Switch, Game Boy, GameCube, Wii, DS or 3DS, PSP, Nintendo 64, and PlayStation 1 through 4. Listing things for people, it's the same thing with yard sales. Like jogging people's memory about what they actually have that I might be interested in can be helpful. And this is also aimed at eliminating some of the folks who would be like, hey, I have a 1998 desktop, would you want to trade for that? Or other like random electronics and stuff. So this list I've found provides some helpful clarity. And then I'll end with the meetup location so I don't have people asking to meet me all the way across town. So with that said, it's Sunday night right now. We said that we're allowed to post stuff Sunday night, but we can't do any deals until Monday through Friday. So I'm gonna let you guys in on So all that said, it's Sunday night right now. I'm just getting this thing posted. We said that we're allowed to post something on Sunday night, but we can't do any actual deals until Monday through Friday. So as I'm starting to get inquiries in, as I'm starting to make deals, I'll bring you guys along. But until then, I'm just gonna have to wait and see what comes in. Well, folks, it is a couple hours after I just posted these guys on Marketplace. I was honestly a little bit worried because I have been selling these pretty consistently or trading these pretty consistently for the last like month or so. So I was like, man, I don't know, are people still gonna want them? But like I said, it's been like 2 hours and I've gotten 9 inquiries already. So I'm gonna show you guys some of the better ones here and just kind of talk through my thoughts on them. So let's just take a look at some of the messages that I've gotten sent here, just to give you guys an idea of the kind of inquiries that you can expect. So the first guy that messages me is Nathan, and he says, "Hey, I've got a brand new Switch like the one on top." And so I said, and like, are you trying to like buy another one? Like what's the deal? And he says, "What you gonna get me for my birthday?" I don't know if this is like a kid or what the deal is, but I'm not responding to that. I don't like to mess around. I just thought that was kind of funny. Then my favorite one, Joshua says, "Is this still available?" And then Joshua offered you $1. I'm dead inside. Anyway, that's just an idea of some of the inquiries coming in. I'm not going to do a whole lot of that, but I wanted to give you guys just a quick little idea. Well, everyone, it's Wednesday, and I still have not done a Facebook Marketplace deal for one of these Switches. I'm kind of bummed about it, to be honest, because I've had multiple people contact me that seemed like really promising leads, and so far none of them have panned out. One of them was a person that I actually reached out to. I saw they had a posting for a Wii U bundle with games and 4 Pro controllers. Looked really good. I said, "Hey, would you like to trade for my Switch Lite?" And she said, "Yes, that sounds awesome. I just have to ask my husband." I was like, "Okay, cool." We were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh, wait, I just asked my husband, and he doesn't want to." I was like, oh, dang it. So then I had a couple other people reach out to me. One of them was wanting to trade a 3DS, an SP, and some games. That one was just yesterday, and I've reached out a couple more times, and she has not responded. So there may still be some potential there if she just hasn't checked her phone in a while or something like that. Maybe she's working third shift, but just kind of started ghosting me. Then I had another one who reached out who had like a PS3, a 3DS, and a Wii, and a whole bunch of games. And I was like, yes, please. And reached back out, asked them for details, and they ghosted me too. And I've had like 2 other ones like that that could have been solid deals, but people are just not following through right now. I don't know what the deal is. So I've got 2 days left. I've talked with Chase a little bit. We're thinking about extending the deadline. We'll see what happens. But yeah, a very slow start on the Phoenix resale side of this challenge. All right, well, things are starting to look up. The woman who I talked about who initially ghosted me just reached back out and is apparently heading my way. Should be here in around 20 minutes. I'm trading her this gray Switch Lite for a 3DS and I think SP and some other stuff. So I will let you guys know what happens. Alrighty, so the deal did go down. They were on time and everything, which is great. So yeah, I got a bundle of a Game Boy SP and a 3DS and a bunch of solid games. So let's kind of tally up what the total value is here. We've got this Game Boy Advance SP. This is going to be at least $70. That was like the lowest after fees listing on Amazon. Probably a little bit more than that, but we'll say 70 on that. Then a couple Game Boy Advance Pokemon games. We got Emerald, which is the one you want to see, and Sapphire. These combined, I would say these both have dead batteries, and I don't like changing the batteries. So I'm gonna say like 90 bucks for both of these. Then we have, I did not even realize that this was a Bolo game, but Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. I did not know that any Mystery Dungeon games were really had much value, but this one goes for like 65 after fees. So when you take the 90 there, call it 60 here, that's 150 plus this 70. That basically is the Switch Lite. That's basically our investment back, and everything else is profit. So going on from there, We have this 3DS XL, which I was really excited about until I saw the condition. And if you can see on there, there's a good amount of wear. This was not adult owned at all. And worst of all, somebody like drilled an inscription into the back of this thing. So the condition is definitely a bummer. I'll have to go on eBay with this. I did just look up comps, and in similar condition to this, listings are selling for around 90 bucks plus shipping. So we'll call it that. So 90 bucks profit so far. Then we've got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity. That's like 15, so we're at 105. Then we've got both Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire on the 3DS. Those are about 25 each, so we'll call that 155, I think we're at right now. Dino Pets and My Little Pony, which are worth absolutely nothing. Then we have Pokemon Pearl version, which right now is going for around 65 after fees, so that's a solid one. So that puts us at, what, 220 in profit? And finally, we have Pokemon Platinum version. So a really solid find there. That will bring, I think, about 80 to 85 after fees on Amazon. So yeah, right around $300 in profit on that Switch Lite, which is stellar. So it took us a while to get going, but once we did, this is a really good deal to start off with, and we'll see if I'm able to be as picky for these next two, given that we only have a couple days left. All right, so it's Thursday morning, a little update on my Facebook post. I woke up to 0 new messages today about the listing on Marketplace, and so I decided to take it down and relist it. When your engagement gradually decreases, it just means that it's getting prioritized lower in the search results. So when people are searching for Nintendo Switch, Switch Lite, that kind of thing, fewer people are seeing it because it's farther down. So I decided to just delete it, relist it, and one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that I'm also listing it in a whole bunch of local yard sale groups and like buy, sell, trade groups on Facebook that I'm a part of, and that can also help get more eyes on your listing. So since doing that about a half an hour ago, I've already had a couple people reach out to me. One of them was somebody just offering a console-only N64. Needless to say, I'm not interested in that. The other one may be a little bit promising though, so I'll let you guys know how that develops, and yeah, just wanted to give you that update. All right, folks, well, finally, it is Friday morning, and I am finally going to do my second trade of the challenge. Got this blue Switch Lite that I am taking over to a person that just got some pictures to me this morning, and it's 9 o'clock and they're already able to meet, so that's really good. I had to go through a couple really heartbreaking cancellations and flakes last night. Like 2 or 3 folks in a row confirmed with me, had sent pictures, and were like, all right, let's do this, and then just changed their mind. So that was really frustrating because, you know, I could be done with this challenge by now, and instead I'm kind of lowering my standards a little bit and scrambling. But the reality is that's just part of what you have to deal with on Marketplace. People are not always responsible. They're not always honest. And so, you know, you got to watch out for that a little bit. But nonetheless, I'm excited about getting this deal and only hopefully being able to do one more before we film this afternoon. So fingers crossed. Alrighty, well, the guy showed up and we made the trade. It was made up of a DSi XL, so probably like 50 to 60 bucks in value there. A Game Boy Advance SP Black. These have been selling really well for me. Just sold one of this model, but in red for $137, so that's a solid pickup as well. Got a few games with that. And then also a Nintendo 64 system. It does have a blue Nintendo brand controller, as well as Super Mario 64. So pretty solid overall value there. I'd say the 64 and Mario are probably worth around 150 or so. It does have the expansion pack too, so that definitely helps. So overall, probably gonna make in the neighborhood of 150 to maybe 200 in profit on that deal, which at this stage in the game, I will definitely take. Well guys, unfortunately, it's about time for me to hop onto this Zoom call with Chase, and my other 1 or maybe 2 meetups got pushed back both to later tonight, so I won't be able to show those, unfortunately. But we did decide that since if they do go down, if the people don't flake on me, then we can still count them if it's today, because we did say Monday to Friday. So I'll let you guys know what those are for, and also later on if I'm able to go through with them. But let's hop onto this call and show Chase what we got. Well, hey, folks, we have Chase on the line right now, all ready to check out the finds that we got. Chase, how are you feeling about your finds this week?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
We got
pretty
some
confident.
pretty good deals, and we both stuck to the Monday through Friday thing, so it was a time crunch. But I'm excited to see what you got.
Yeah, well, mine is decent at best. So
Okay.
the people who have been watching so far know that some of the deals have been a bit of a struggle this week, which we can talk about a little bit later. But I
Yeah.
will just jump in here. I mentioned earlier that one of my deals has yet to hopefully go down today. So I will cut out now and go to that footage if it ends up going down, because at this point in time, I don't know if it will yet. But I'll put that in right here for you guys to see as well. All right, guys, my last minute Friday trade did end up going down. Here is everything that I got. It's kind of a mess here. But the main part of it was a PlayStation 3. I think this is a 160 gig. My last one of those sold for $300. I'm gonna go conservative and say 200 on it, because the 300 is pretty inflated. In reality, I'll probably get close to that though. The other big part of it was this 3DS. It has some light scratching, but I'd still say very good condition. So that's going to be about another $200 as well. That's what those have been selling for me. It also had a couple extra OEM controllers in there, so those will be like $30 each or so. So that puts us at $460 in overall value, like after fees. And then it had a whole bunch of games. So like these games, they're all pretty much worthless. I'll trade those in or lot them up. But this is like a little Disney Infinity bundle, and in here is like the starter pack, which is the game, the base, and 3 figures, and then a few extras. That starter pack sells for $27 after fees, so we're at what, $485-ish. And then this right here, this stack is about $60 worth of games. A lot of Lego stuff in there and miscellaneous. So, should be, even conservatively, over $300 profit, probably around $350. If the PS3 sells for what it did last time, then we will be looking at even more than that. So really a solid final trade, and I will cut back to our conversation with Chase right now. But my second deal here, assuming that first one happened, because you just never know, is this Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
With Mario 64 in it, in pretty good shape. That was the main thing. And actually, I don't know if you knew this, Chase, but this is actually a rare variant of the N64.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only sold in Latin America, and it is the limited Maraca version. Because when you shake it, it sounds like this.
I had no idea where you're going with that one.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's not what you want your N64 to sound like. But it does work. I'll just have to clean it out a little bit. Then also in that little bundle was an OEM
that
controller. It does have the expansion pack, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
So that always helps a little bit. These are actually pretty inflated right now.
Do you sell them with the expansion pack, or do you sell that separate?
I think I'm going to start selling it separate, because at least I haven't found a good listing on Amazon for the system with the expansion pack. Have you?
About 3 years ago there was, but it got taken down because Amazon thought it was a duplicate. So
okay.
It's gone as far as I know still.
So do you sell them separate then and just get jumper packs?
I do now, or I save the expansions for like a Jungle Green or a Funtastic, because those originally included expansions.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's on my list to just get some jumper packs in bulk and
Mm-hmm.
throw it in there and
Yep.
yeah, do it on Amazon that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then got this DSi XL as well in
Okay.
the bundle. Yeah, so
Nice.
it's looking up a little bit. It has a nice light blue stylus in there, so a little
Very
bit.
nice.
Maybe it was a hipster who played this and wanted to be a
Hey.
little bit different. And then the last piece was this Game Boy SP.
Okay.
So, and it had like 4 games with it. Really, only 2 decent ones. Mario World 2 and Mario Kart
Nice.
were the good ones. And then it also had Frogger Adventures and Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay.
So that was the first deal. What would you just ballpark estimate value on that?
I mean, I'd say you're coming in pretty humble. That was a pretty solid deal. A little better than decent.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a $50 profit or anything.
Yeah, I would quickly say there's probably got to be at least 400 there on Amazon. I don't know what you're
with
thinking.
current prices, yeah. And honestly, have you sold an SP recently? Because I sold one the other day for like 137, and it wasn't an AGS 101. It was the
Yeah,
old
was that very good condition?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah. So I sold a couple acceptables at 90. So yeah, they're definitely spiked.
Yeah.
What's the condition on that one?
I mean, it's got some. I'll try to show it a little bit if I can.
Oh yeah, the scratches at the top.
There's some, but they're pretty light. Like it's not pristine condition. The screen is pristine, but I mean, for something this old, honestly, I think I'd probably go very good with it. Like there's really
It looks pretty. Yeah.
not much to speak of. I
I'd
don't know what
say so.
your standards are like on those, but
Minor scratches, I
Yeah.
still consider very good, especially on an SP.
yeah, same.
Yeah, so
So,
you might be at even 500 with current prices. It'll be interesting to see.
Could be.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit better than I was expecting, but also Mario 64 is doing really well right now. So
Just sold one for 60.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're doing real nice. So that was the one that I just picked up this morning. So I was glad that guy reached out and
Yes.
had that stuff. Then the other one that I had, which I'm a little bit more excited about,
Oh boy.
all handheld stuff.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, so we have this 3DS XL.
Nice. Yeah.
So these are doing real good right now. Definitely not adult owned, and you can tell that by the name engraved on the back. That's not pen. That is
Isabella
scratched in.
3DS. Wow.
But yeah, once I clean it up, it's in good working shape overall.
Mm-hmm.
A slight crack up there.
Okay.
But I'd say even in this condition, at least 90.
Yep, I would agree.
Then another pretty solid condition SP.
Oh man.
So I just love the SP, like just a fantastic handheld in general, and especially at current prices, not a bad thing to get.
Yeah. Before the Switch, it was by far my favorite handheld.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely.
It's
The
top notch.
portability is just unrivaled.
It's unmatched. It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then had some solid games. The games were really the what drew me most to this bundle. I'll go worst to best, or at least I'll try to.
Sweet.
So we'll start out strong with Dino Pets on
Nice.
DS. Then we'll go to My Little Pony Pinkie Pie's Party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a classic.
Yep. Necessary for every game collection.
Absolutely.
Then we'll make a pretty solid jump here to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Ooh, okay.
So those are probably about, I'd say, 25 after fees on Amazon.
Yeah, right around there.
Then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity.
Sweet.
Actually, that I probably should have done that one first. That's probably more like a $20 one.
Yeah.
Then we got
All good.
Pokemon Pearl. Big Pokemon fan on this one, which you always like to see on trades. A lot of the main Pokemon titles are super high in price right now.
Oh, there, across the board pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Pokemon Sapphire version. I have not tested these batteries yet,
Mm-hmm.
so I should say that. But I just sold one of these with a dry battery yesterday for 32 on eBay, so
Okay.
they're still doing well. Then we have this one I didn't actually know was a pretty big bolo until today. Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky.
Okay.
This one right now is going for 77 after fees.
Sweet mercy.
So I've never heard of like, I don't know if this Mystery Dungeon game is always that high or if it's just,
No,
you don't think?
definitely not. It's I mean that's a current time spike and an Amazon spike. So that's like you're working with a double spike there, but I'm sure it's still got strong value on eBay.
What do you recall what you've sold that for in the past? This
I mean, it's
specific one?
been cartridge only, maybe 15, 20 bucks
Really?
in regular times.
Dang.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I'm noticing DS and GBA, they're kind of like hitting that. Kids that grew up are getting their big boy jobs.
Right.
So they're experiencing a spike like GameCube is as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
For sure.
yeah,
And then the last
interesting.
two, we have Emerald version.
That's super spiked right now too.
It is. I just sold one with a dry battery for 85.
Oh my gosh.
So that's a great value. And then last but not least, Pokemon Platinum, which is
Sweet.
about the same in value. So yeah, overall, really solid lot. I think I want to hear, do you have any initial impressions on overall value?
Well, I was trying to add up as you went in my head,
Uh-huh.
and I'm right around like 550-ish. I don't know.
That's pretty much where I was.
Okay.
So about 300-ish, in the neighborhood of 300 profit on that one, which I'm always super happy with on a Switch Lite. And also I love when it's handhelds because they're just so easy.
Oh yeah, quick sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Easy to ship, easy to store. I'll do handhelds all day.
Nicely done.
So yeah, and I'll tell you whether it happens or not. If it did, then the footage will have already played. But I'll read for you what it's supposed to be tonight.
All right.
And actually, I have some pictures as well.
Sweet.
So it's a PlayStation 3 bundle, couple controllers, maybe like 20 or so games. This is one of the pictures of the games.
Okay.
And also she said at the end, I was kind of on the fence. And then she said she could throw in a 3DS as well.
Okay, yeah.
So some pretty solid potential there, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
It all just depends on whether she shows up or cancels on me.
I hope she shows up.
Me too.
Nice, dude. All in a week's work.
Yeah. So trades, even on a rougher week, definitely still some solid profit to be had, just keeping the listens up, fielding the offers, and certainly I would say this is still an accessible and viable model for getting some profit. So definitely would encourage experimentation with that. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. If you are on my channel right now, definitely don't forget to tune in to Chase's channel, Chase After the Right Price, to see his side of the deals and strategy and everything like that.
And if you're on my channel, thank you guys for watching. And be sure to check out Phoenix Resale. Caleb brought a lot of value, always brings value on videos on his channel. And until next time, we'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.